Hello, and welcome to this quick demonstration of change management with BreakingPoint QuickTests. Change management is generally a big issue for any network infrastructure or IT teams where once they make some changes, they are not able to quantify exactly what the users' effects are on those changes, what kind of quality of experience issues the users might be facing, and so on. And with this video, I wanted to show you how this can be made quite easy or from using Breaking Point quick tests. So what I will do is I'll run this performance suite. In the configuration, you can set some guardrails, but I will keep everything default. In the interest of time, I'll only run the data center profile that's to trying to do a mix of data center applications with high connections per second throughput and concurrency. So for the first time, I will run it without any major changes in my network infrastructure. So I'm running it through a DUT. I have some next generation firewalls configured between the client and the server. So there is a DUT in between. So, however, I'm running it with no antivirus policies enabled, but we have IPS and other detections, which is probably what is there in the standard configuration. So I'll run this test first and let it complete. And once it's complete, I will do some analysis of this and then run with the change management, which in this particular case is enabling antiviruses at the client side. So we'll do that and rerun the same test again to gauge the impact. Now the test run without the AV is finished. I see the AppMix Enterprise data center. We got an awesome performance. This is my gold standard. I have not made any changes. We see we achieved some concurrent connection and some throughput with the enterprise data center mix. We had some latencies, but it was for only a small amount of time, so things got stabilized, and hence we did not have to do any recalibration. So both bandwidth and concurrent connection tests all successful. We get good throughput, concurrency, and connections per second. Some latency spikes, but those are expected. This is running through a DUT. As long as it did not sustain, things are all good. So I have all these things. I will do a print summary of it. So this is the test run without AV. Then while between this test and the next test, I will go ahead and change the policies in the DUT to enable antivirus. And once I'm done, what I would do is I will just trigger the same test. So I triggered the same test. Now I'll just wait for the test to complete. So the BPS test with antivirus enabled is now finished. I only ran the one application mix, enterprise data center category, and I see it doesn't look too good. So let's dig in a little more details. So there are two tests that were run for this category. So let's quickly see what has happened through, okay? And we'll go iteration by iteration for the statistics. So the first time. I see it tries to achieve some throughput, and suddenly we see the TX and RX getting away from each other. That's a big indicators of failure, which basically means there are sessions not being able to complete, and you can see that in the concurrent connection as well, and there is a latency spike. So everywhere we see these indicators. And we find that maybe at 4,270 somewhere, this is where the calibration algorithm determines and tries to stabilize it there. So we try to achieve 4,270 for the next test, and we were doing fairly good. But as you see, there is a session buildup continuously happening, and at some point of time, this again gives up. The next generation firewall has is having a lot of issues, and we monitor it. We monitor as the TX and RX goes down, but we also see it's getting back up there, and at some point, the divergence is just too huge to continue. So what we do now is try to stabilize it at a little more lower value. So we are getting pretty close by. And sure enough, at this value, we see a lot of stability. The latency spikes do not happen, as you can see in the latency graph. The concurrent connections per second stays at the stable value of somewhere around 46,000, and we can achieve up to around 16 million concurrent connection with this. So that's where the grade degrades. and we understand exactly how much would be the performance impact for an application makes when we enable antivirus. And this can also give us an idea of how much hardware we need to provision, what kind of feature sets we need to take out, so several other measures so that this change management doesn't have this high impact. Similarly, for high concurrent connections, we see similar impact, but we find the stable value and publish it. So comparing the two reports, which one of them is the before report without the antivirus being enabled in the next generation firewall, and with the antivirus being enabled in the next generation firewall, you find exactly the impact of antivirus, and that's where you understand the impact of this particular change. Thanks a lot for listening.